Hi. This is a subarctic beekeeper, one of many. There really aren't that many. But I want to make sure that you all know that I'm not the only one. There's a handful of us. There's a good bucket full of us. I am north of Fairbanks, Alaska. This hive is a hive that's housing a colony that came through last winter. The queen is the daughter of a red queen. So her mother is from 2003. This queen was born in 2004. She made it through winter of 2004. Did a great job. The colony was big, going in to winter and coming out, laying like crazy. One of my very favorite queens. Then a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I looked in on her and she had a wing injury. I don't know how it happened, but if this is her wing, it was cut right here. And she was using, she's got 6 legs, 3 on each side, her mid leg to brush that wing out of the way. And she wasn't laying. She had stopped laying. It wasn't deformed wing virus. Her wings weren't crippled and crinkled. And she was fine going into winter and coming out of winter. Saw her in the spring and early summer, if you can call it that. So I checked in on her again. She still wasn't laying. And so I took her out and I amputated her wing right about here, leaving her shoulder intact. Sometimes beekeepers will clip off the tip of the wing of a queen so she doesn't fly away. I took a chance, found the tiniest scissors I could, wanted to keep that queen. She was nice and thick, which meant she was full of eggs and sperm. Wanted to keep her, see if she'd start laying again, so I amputated that part of the wing out here, and I removed her from this hive. Because she wasn't laying, there weren't any new eggs or larvae. And as the bees age, they get to a place where they're foraging, which is at the end of their life, and soon after they die. About 6 weeks in the summer. It can be up to 10 months in the winter, but in the winter they're not flying around. That's a whole other story. So this colony has been without a queen. What I did do is I took a frame of brood, which is capped larvae, that had some supersedure queen cells on it. So it had some cells that another colony had made in anticipation of replacing their queen. So little queen cells. And I put it in this colony, hoping that the bees in this colony would take care of that frame of brood, so we'd have all ages, developmental ages of bees, plus foragers, plus a new virgin queen. The weather's been crappy. We've had wildfires, record hot temperatures, hailstorms, you name it, wind, etc. However, queens will do what they got to do to get the job done. What I'm hoping is that that queen cell hatched. She flew from the hive way up high, 4-mile radius. She's got all kinds of space, and made it. Since I have so many colonies, she could mate with the drones of any of these other colonies, and it wouldn't be one of her brothers. So I'd be safe. Now, the queen whose wing I amputated is up on the deck in a mini mating nuke. It's a mini, tiny bee frame made for incubating queen cells. I put her in there with some attendants, about 5 bees, some comb with honey, as well as some syrup, to see if she would start laying again. See if I can still use her. I don't want to kill her. I don't think I've ever killed a queen in 9 years. I've had them die on me. I've had them leave, had them be killed, but I haven't killed them. And I know some people will advocate killing them. When you see swarm cells or supersedure cells, swarm cells mean the colony's very healthy and getting ready to swarm. Some people will say, kill the swarm cells. I would rather make a split so that I have 2 colonies instead of 1. I've never had a swarm. What you need to do is you need to make more room for that colony, and they don't swarm. Or they say cut the supersedure cells out. Well, supersedure cells are made when the queen that's in the hive isn't able to do her job anymore, which means her reproductive pheromones are dimming. So the colony senses the reduction in those pheromones, and the workers in that colony start developing their reproductive organs. The queen's pheromones are what keep the worker bees from becoming laying workers. So if you don't replace that queen, then we get workers who are laying multiple eggs in a cell that won't be fertilized and that will end up as drones. And once your colony has done that, there's a lot going on that you've got to take care of in order to get it to be functioning again. Usually they don't want another queen replacement. Anyway, I want to check on this colony to see if they made a new queen. Well, they are still alive. That's great news. So they haven't all aged out. They're all nice and dark. They look like their mother. They are all clogging up the feeder. The reason there's a feeder is because even though the foragers were able to bring in pollen and a little bit of nectar, with our crappy weather, a lot of nectar probably got washed out. A lot of things weren't blooming on their normal schedule. And I wanted them to have what they needed to do, what they needed to do. There's some propolis sticking this lid to the box. That's a good sign. Propolis is made from tree resin, and it keeps the drafts out of the hive. I want to clean the dead out of this feeder because I am going to put some more syrup in there. Okay, I find out what's going on. I can show you a little bit. You see? Look at those beauties. Keeping it going. And they're calm. Typically when a colony is queenless, they're a bit manic. And I did hear just now a little bit of humming or drumming. I don't think it's drumming. I say humming because it's like a vibration. It's not piping. It is a noise that I have not been able to absolutely identify, but I get it every year in many colonies. And I don't know if it's a correlation or a cause, but I always have a strong queen in the colonies that are producing that sound. And what I need to do now is go frame by frame of this nuke hive to find out if there's any sign of a queen. If there's a new one, she'll be unmarked. So I've got a queen grabber, oops, in my pocket. Some people have a hive grasper thing that they hook on the end of their hive to hang their frames on. I don't have one of those, but maybe I need one. What do I see? I see drones, big old drones, big beauties. I see pollen, I see lots of nectar, and I see a good amount of honey. Same with this side. I don't see any eggs, I don't see any larvae. Since it would be an unmarked queen, I'm going to look at it from this angle because sometimes she's easier to see this way. Sometimes it jumps right out at me and sometimes I miss her. I see baby bees as well as fully developed bees, adult bees. They are fanning and they have their butts in the air, which is where their Nasonoff gland is located. It means they're sending out a homing signal, calling in the rest of the colony because I'm an intruder. I've already taken one for the team today, but it was a wasp. Oh, did it hurt? In the ankle. Oh, it hurt real bad. Wasp stings are different. For me, they're much more painful. They're like a hot poker. Whereas a bee sting is like a bee sting. I don't know how else to describe it. Second frame, I need my tote. This is one of my various totes. I'm going to stick it right under here. You can actually see it. So that way, if any of the bees fall off of the frames, particularly a new queen, I won't lose her in the grass. So we've got a lot of drone cells on here. We could have some laying workers in here. I do see right here a supersedure cell. And what I want to do is I want to check and see if there is a larva inside there. Oh yes, there is. So they're making a new queen, as well as drones. I still want to make sure there's no other queen in here. The worker bees are tending to the queen cell. Oh my, I've got a blind drone. Pretty fascinating. I've got a drone. It's a genetic thing. If I can get this going fast enough. Where is he? The drones aren't going to sting. This one has got eyes that are cloudy instead of jet black. I need to take a picture for my records. This is the hive I'm looking at, so I can remember. That blind drone thing is interesting. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 supersedure cells here. That's a lot. And what will happen is one of those queens will hatch. And she will go and rip open the other queen cells and sting her sisters, kill them. There can only be one queen. A lot going on in this colony. It's a small colony. It's small, but not so small. It came through winter. So this colony has been around in one form or another for, this is year 3. Pretty good. Pretty good for a subarctic beekeeper. It's not easy to keep our gals alive through the winter. They actually spend more of their time hived up than they do out doing what bees do. It's okay. It came in too quick there. Oh, drones everywhere. Another thing about drones is that they are juicy food for varroa mites. So they're important because they carry on the genetic material, pass on the genetic material, but they also are little snacks for varroa. So if I want to get varroa out of my colony, one of the ways I can do it is to make sure I don't have any infected drone comb. Got another blind drone here. Looked like a little deformed wing virus. So I've got 2 swarm cells. Swarm cells are formed along the bottom of the frame. Let me, now, can you see them? They hang from the bottom. I want to turn this frame upside down and see if they have a larva inside them. I see a bunch of drones hatching. They do have larvae in them. So what do we have here? We have 11 supersedure cells on the other frame. We have 2 swarm cells on this frame. If I remember right, there's a supersedure cell on the frame I looked at prior. Woo! Jeez. I tell ya. People make it look easy. It's not. I will put... Oh, I love this queen. I still love her. I hope she's alive. I'm going to check on her next. I want to use these queen cells. So I can either cut them up, off of the frame, not up, and stick them in a mating nuke with some attendants and breed them, which is what I need to do. Or I let them do their thing. If I do that, I'm going to lose a lot of queens. So I don't have much to lose. No eggs, no larvae. These girls are hungry. We have another supersedure cell right here. Right there. So that's 13, 14. And that one is ready to hatch. They don't like being left open like this. But I want to take some pictures. And then I want to put these frames back in an order that I can remember so I can harvest those queen cells. I will need to feed this colony. Got another deformed wing virus. And what that looks like is the wing is all crinkled up like an old paper bag. That means the virus is in the colony. What can I do about it? Not a damn thing. I can obviously call the ones that have it. Not all of them have it. Unless they can carry it without showing signs. I don't know that yet. Can you hear the humming going up? I could also make a split by putting the frame with the queens in another hive with a bunch of brood from another hive. I would like to do that. I do have enough queens here for some options. I've got 3 frames that have viable harvestable queen cells on them. And then I have the original queen, the OG, old gal, original gal, who's in the mating nuke. I see no signs of Nosema virus, no defecation in the hive, that's great. This is a hungry colony. This queen cell is going to be the hardest for me to cut out because it's in the middle of the frame. And I'll have to take a whole lot of comb with it. I think what I was saying about mating is that we need to have nice weather for mating to happen. For the queen to be able to fly up, and the drone congregations, which is when drones all get together like guys at a bar waiting for the virgin queen to fly by, and then they chase her, hoping to mate with her. So I've got some swarm cells here. Those are the ones that would be easiest to remove. I'm going to put that frame, this one, full of drones. Ugh. Drones do not work. They don't contribute to the colony. Maybe to cool it if it gets too hot. They're just there for mating purposes. They are a drain on resources. After mating season is done, putting smoke rings. I'm trying to decrease the smoke. But my smoker, as usual, is broken. Alright, what do we got here? Swarm cells. Giant supersedure cell. I want to make sure that the next frame is the one with the, 9, 10, 11 supersedure cells on it. This one has a lot of supersedure cells. It does not have a closed queen cell. Beekeeping has a lot of problem solving involved. It has been good occupational therapy for my brain injury, I think. Oh, Jesus! Slippery hands. What can I do? I can stand still for a minute. Let them know I'm not a threat. They're humming, you could probably hear them. That's what happens when you can't see what's going on. Oh, jeez. Sometimes, and pinching. Now, this is a frame of honey that I'm not going to take for me. I'm going to leave for the new queen. Got a bunch of bees in here that came off that frame. Now I have hardly any time to figure out what I'm going to do with those queen cells. I have to think, do I have another nuke hive, so a smaller hive that I can use? Do I have a frame of honey, a frame of brood, 1 or 2 frames of brood, hopefully capped and some eggs and some larvae from another colony that I can make up a new colony with those supersedure cells? That's one. The other is, do I have an available mini mating nuke that I can use for harvesting those 2 queen cells, those swarm cells? Ideally, 2 mini mating nukes. And I need to check on the queen, the original queen from this colony. She's in a mini mating nuke. I have another one in a mini mating nuke. Hopefully has hatched and bred. In which case I need to make sure I have queen cages available for them. Lots of like, do I have, if then what, where is that, is it clean? Can I do this? Can I do that? What's the time? What else needs to be done going on in the head? I will put this feeder back on. I'm not going to add any feed right now. I'm going to go check the other mini mating nukes and see if those queens are alive and if they have mated. We have a bunch of bees in this lid who are consuming what's left of the syrup that they couldn't get to because of the dead blocking the entrances, the feeder entrances. So I'll let them lick that up. I got some beautiful solid black bees. For me, my experience has been that the darker the bee, the better they do in winter. Alright, I'm going to leave it like that. These gals will make their way off of the lid and into the hive, and they will finish consuming the leftover syrup, and I will see what my equipment looks like, which will determine what my options are. That's it. Have a nice day. Take care of yourselves, take care of your bees. Watch your queens. Watch your queens. Ukraine is winning. Fascism is, I just dread saying it, spreading across our country like a virus we dealt with a few years ago that some people didn't want to acknowledge. That ended up killing 500,000 people. We lost more people in the United States of America to the virus than any other country, I believe, because we had someone in office who maybe wanted to inject some bleach into their system and use some ivermectin and things that didn't work. Ironic that the same person is back in office and fascism is spreading. Please speak up and speak out and protect each other. Take care of each other. This video is copyrighted and all rights reserved. If you want to find out more about us, you can find out more on Happy Creek Farm, under Happy Creek Farm, on Instagram, Facebook. We're off Twitter now. We do have a regular website, but it's not updated. And, of course, YouTube, under a Subarctic Beekeeper. See you later, guys.